Hey guys! So this video is going to be about just how to get to Khan Academy and just I'm going to walk through a little bit of what Khan Academy is. And this is what we'll use at least until we get some sort of direction on when we're going to start new instruction and grades and going on from here. So for now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be enforcing the HLO, which is the website that's found on the Comal District. And when you go to the HLO, it just provides resources and it follows this, learning plan. And for us, at least for Algebra 1, we're following Khan Academy because it is the best resource. And when I can tell you this, we're not just pushing it because it's what the district likes. I used it almost 10 years ago when I was in Calculus 1, and then it got me through Calculus 2, and then it got me through Calculus 3 and differential equations. And if I'm starting to speak another language to you, that right there tells you that Khan Academy is amazing. The videos are great. The questions, that wasn't even there when I was in college yet, but how they provide questions and how you have to get a certain amount correct. It's just a great reinforcement tool. So let's go ahead and see how to get there. If you're like, what is this? What is their expectation? What do they want from me? I'm going to kind of walk you through it all. Okay. So you can get to Khan Academy through a laptop, through a phone, and through a tablet. I'm on a tablet right now, iPad, but whatever. So here, I'm just going to open up a web browser. You might use Google Chrome, Safari, whatever it is, Firefox that you use. So don't worry about what's on my screen now. I'm going to put on a cursor and let's just start at Google, okay? Because Google's our favorite thing. So I'm just going to be basic. I'm not even going to type in a website. I'm just going to type in Khan with an H first and then Academy. This is probably my best way of telling you guys how to get there. When you Google it, you have all these options, but the first option is Khan Academy. So I click on that. So over here up in the corner, you could see a sign up option. You do not have to sign up, but there are so many benefits in signing up. First and foremost, I don't like to feel like I've wasted my time. So I personally would like to sign up to show everything that I've worked on. It's just a free account. You could use your student email, or you can use your own email. Choose a password, is easy and simple, whatever you use all the time. So your password for your social media accounts, whatever. So I like, again, to sign up because it keeps track of everything that I've done. Again, it just makes me feel like I'm not doing anything for nothing. It just kind of keeps track of everything. And it's kind of nice when your parents say, have you done any work? You have proof to show them you have, right? So what's really important over here, because again, that's optional, okay? What's really important over here is this courses. So I'm going to click on the courses. Whoops, let's do that again. Notice you have so many options. So for biology, you've got this. I'm sure they have you doing this. For history, you've got this. They might have you doing this for your history classes. If you get bored, there's some financial classes here, some computer, there's programming and stuff like that. Oops, let's go back. So I went to courses. So yeah, there's a lot of options here. But if you go under math, we notice right here is Algebra 1. So I'm going to click on that. Now, this is where truly you just need to be playing around. So I'm going to turn off my function so I can scroll. So here you see that your first option is Algebra Foundations. Now, I'm going to walk through just what each of these titles are, and then I'm going to kind of walk through a section because these are like units. So imagine each of these being like Chapter 1, Algebra Foundations, Chapter 2, Solving Inequalities, Chapter 3, Working with Units, Chapter 4, and so on. So that's kind of how you want to look at it, because under each of these chapters are different things inside, right? So they go all the way through, and ideally all of these things are what we're supposed to learn for Algebra 1, all the way to irrational numbers. And then there's different challenges and stuff like that. So anyways, this is my video for this one is just to basically walk you through it. So this is where you get all your stuff, right? Some of this might look a little bit familiar, such as linear. Hopefully that screams familiar to you, right? Linear sounds like line. That's when we graph lines. The last thing we were working on was, if y'all remember, quadratics, the smiley face and sad face ones. Remember that? We did not go over irrational numbers yet. We have not gone over absolute value yet. What else have we? Sequences we have not gone over yet. So obviously Khan Academy does not go exactly in the same order, but for the most part, it covers everything we're working on. So just to walk you through it, I told you how each of these are kind of like a chapter. Let me walk you through what one of these, let's say, chapters look like. So I'm going to go to linear equations and graphs just because we should know that stuff already. So if you notice when I click on that, this is basically like a chapter, right? So in this chapter, oops, let me go ahead and turn my gesture off. In this chapter, we are starting off right here. Let me turn my thing back on. Right here is your first video. So ideally, if you were walking through this and you're like, what do I do? Well, you would start to click on that video. You would watch that video. It would say next, watch that video, next, watch that video, next. You know what I say all the time, math is, you can't just watch someone ride a bicycle and learn how to do it. You have to actually work it out. So ideally, if you're doing this at home, when you're watching these videos, I would want you to take notes of what you're watching. So if they write down a problem, you write down that problem. If they work out a problem, you work out that problem on a piece of paper. Pause the video as necessary to make sure you truly understand. And if you have any questions, jot them off down to the side. Why did they do that? Why did they subtract 2 on both sides? Why did they divide by 4 on both sides? Whatever that question is you have. Because what I'm going to get to later is you're going to be able to ask me these questions, and I'll get to that in a different video. So any questions you have, please write them off to the side. Ideally, like I said, I would want you to be taking notes and working these problems out with the video. Oops, and I guess this is one way to see how it looks. So he's just walking through a problem with you. Look, this one has multiple choice, and he would show you how to solve this, okay? And so it's just a how-to video and how to work it out and stuff like that. So then you would come through, and after you watch these videos, it'll naturally get you to the practice. So then if you start practicing, okay, so ready, set, go, let's go. It then gives you problems. So based on the videos you just watched, he's going to give us problems that look exactly like those problems, but different numbers. Just like I do for our test reviews. I give you exactly the same problems and the words and everything, different numbers. So that's all he's doing here. He gave you some videos. He's going to give you some problems, very much like the problems out of the videos, and then you try to answer them. If you get it right, you move on. If down here, so let me put my cursor back on, down here you see these dots. If I don't know exactly what it is, but if you do not get a certain amount correct in a roll, it's going to keep giving you and generating questions until you get at least 4 or 5 in a roll, depending on the type of problem. So that's really important to know. So don't get discouraged. It's really good. If you do get stuck, notice right here, it says stuck, watch a video or use a hint. So if I click on that, it'll give me either a video or it'll give me a hint that I can click on. And so that's what's really nice, and it gives you so many chances before you use this hint, because you don't want to use a hint. Ideally, you know, you want to do this by yourself, but I get it. We need hints, especially on these different learning platforms. So that's basically it. So you would then practice that, get your total points, practice this, get your total points, and then we would move on to the next section, and that's slope. So again, I would, if I was working through this, watch, review, and practice. Again, these practice problems are going to be consistent with the work that he does in these videos. They're not going to be like, oh, I saw one thing on here, but something completely different on something else. So it's going to be very consistent. It's going to be very like following the order, and again, the same type of problems, different numbers. What we are going to do, what I said I would refer later, and I'll also vocalize this through email, is we are going to have office hours. And so I will be, and again, this is just for now. Every day, everything's changing. This is whole new different waters. I know we've heard the saying over and over again, but we are charting unfamiliar territory. So when you're watching this videos, maybe these things have changed, but for now, we are going to start providing office hours where I am going to be on a Google Hangout, and I'll make a video for that as well. And you guys will be able to come in twice a day to ask any questions. So that's why I say write down as you're watching these videos the problems and the work he does and any questions at any points that you have, because when you come to my Google Hangout, I want you to be prepared with what you're trying to ask me. I don't want you to be like, oh, that one video in that one section, that's not going to be beneficial to either of us. Or, you know, if you say, oh, it was about slopes, again, not so beneficial. You're letting me know the concept, but where, when, why, what are you having questions with? So the best way to ask me questions is to make sure you're writing down the notes, making sure you're writing down the steps, and then marking where you have that question so that when we go to a Google Hangout, you can maybe show me your paper, or you have a better way of describing it, and so I can figure it out. We can work together. Now, again, we're going to be figuring this out together, so my request might change, your request might change, y'all guys might be giving me good feedback that I need to hear about, and so forth and so on. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so miss you guys. Let me know if y'all need anything else, okay?